Now, let's get into it. What we're going to talk about today is what you need to do before you start a nonprofit or a for-profit is you need to manage your money right and get your credit tight. If you do not manage your money right, it's going to affect your credit. Now, you may wonder, I'm starting a nonprofit. Why do I need my credit to be good? Like, why are they going to go off my personal guarantee like they will a for-profit? Well, there are a lot of people that may not. You're a nonprofit, they want to support you. But you have got to get your business together. You have got to manage your finances, because here's the thing. You may want a facility that you may have to rent. You may want a building that you may have to rent. Now, granted, cities have buildings that they have available that they may rent to you for very, very low cost. But you may not be able to get into that. And I don't know if they will ask you for your personal guarantee or not. So you need to have your stuff together just in case you need to rent a facility or a building or what have you. But aside from all of that, that's the business side of it. And I think most of us know why you need to have your credit right with a for-profit, because when you're new, it's very hard to get a business loan because you're new. You're not tried, true, and nor are you tested. So the bank is going to want you to personally guarantee that loan if they even give it to you. So the reason you need to get your stuff together is you don't want to start a nonprofit at the house you're thinking about. Back in your mind, you're at the house thinking about, good grief, I forgot to pay that light bill. I forgot to pay did I even pay the water bill? Oh my goodness, did I even pay my credit card bill? And what I need everyone to understand is I am talking very basic here. I'm not talking about managing your money and investing in stock, like not developing your investment portfolio. I'm not talking about anything complicated. I'm talking about the basics. And this is for grown-up folk too. I'm talking to myself too, people. I've had good credit. I've had bad credit. I've had bad credit. I've had good credit. You see the cycle? You do not want to go into any business without having your finances in order. Again, you need to manage your money right and get your credit tight. You just want to have that together. And so I'm going to tell you some things. It's not necessarily in this order, but this first thing you do need to do. This is the very first thing you need to do is you need to prioritize your debts. I know you thought I was going to say pull your credit report. Yeah, you're going to do that too. But the very first thing you need to do is prioritize your debts. Now, people, a light bill is a debt. I know you may not look at it like that because it's a recurring expense. It's not like a credit card or a car payment. But I call it a debt that you want to really prioritize, because if they can cut it off or if they can come take it back, you want to prioritize that DEBT, debt. You want to prioritize it. Again, if they can come take it back or if they can cut it off, it should be a priority. So you want to do this before you even pull your credit report. You want to look at what debts you have. Okay, I have a mortgage payment or rent, whatever the case. So I have a mortgage payment or rent payment. Then I have utilities. I have food. I have gas. I have, the utilities would be the water and the electric bill. You have the internet that most of us have to have, especially if you work from home. These are things that are priority debts that you have got to get ordered before you even begin to tackle your credit report. Because if you're carrying a month-to-month light bill, like your light bill was $150 last month, it's the same this month, but you didn't pay last month. So now you owe $300 on your light bill. You've got to get those debts in order before you even start saving. You have got to prioritize your debt. You've got to understand, number one, now this is what I used to do back in the day. I would not consider food something that needed to go on my budget. I said the word budget, you're going to have to budget. And that sounds really dumb, right? Like, I would not put food on there. I would not put gas on there. You know good and well you need gas. You know good and well you need to buy food. But I would not put that on my budget, because what it did was it showed me that I was spending too much on the fun side, and I really didn't have enough to do that. If that makes any sense to you. So if I didn't put in $200, this is as a single person, $200 a month in food. Now, this was back in the day. I know I'm not 32. Let's not go there. But back in the day, I needed to budget $200, and then I needed to budget the gas, but I didn't want to do that because then it looked like I didn't have any play money. I didn't have any money at all to go and do what I wanted to do. Don't do that. That is so unrealistic. I don't know if any of you do it, but it is something that is so easy to do because you think in your mind, I know I need gas and I know I need food. I don't need to write this on the budget. Yeah, you do. And if I did that, I know there's got to be someone else that did that too, or that does that, not writing in those core expenses. So the whole point of that particular conversation in prioritizing your debt is, again, prioritize those things that they can cut off or they can take back. Your car payment, your car insurance. Those are two things that go hand in hand. You can't say, well, I'm going to make this car payment. I'll dilly-dally on my car insurance. No. I mean, I'm in North Carolina and they are very particular about car insurance. Yeah, I better have it. So, or they're going to fine you. And that's F-I-N-E. I don't know if they're going to find with the D, but you don't even want to figure that out. So prioritize your debts. You got to do that before you then move on to the next step, which is then you want to work on $1,000 emergency fund. I know that there are experts that say 6 to 8 months of your monthly income to save that into a savings account. And that's exactly right. You need to get to that point. But right now, you're not at that point. If you're at that point, great. But you're at the point where you're just trying to put some money in the bank because you need to be able to replace your battery, your car battery, if it goes bad on you. And you know it goes bad on you all willy-nilly. It's not like, oh, you know what, Beatrice, the car battery says, Beatrice, hey, in 2 months, I'm going to go bad on you. It doesn't give you a warning like that. It would be nice if it did. If the car talked to you and told you that. I don't know, maybe some do, but mine does not. So guys, you've got to make sure you have, to begin with, work on building $1,000 savings so that will be just for emergency funds. That's not to, oh, I got $1,000. I know it's for my emergency fund, but I'm going to go on and buy, I don't know, these shoes or this dress or whatever it is you want to buy, a new suit. Oh, I don't know if you can ever forget, whatever the case is. But you don't want to do that because just as sure as you do that, that car battery is going to go out on you. Or that tire is going to go flat. And you're going to run over a piece of glass like I did one time. Just run over a piece of glass. And guess what? There is no fixing that. I ran over that piece of glass. I don't even know. That was a karate piece of glass. That thing messed my tire up and they could not even patch it. Because a lot of times they can fix those things. But if it hits it in the wrong spot, you get my point. Take that money, build that $1,000 in savings fund. And this is to begin with, just so you'll have that cushion so that if an emergency does come up, you'll be able to take it. Because that is one of the main reasons our finances get out of whack. It's because we don't have that emergency savings fund built up, and then the battery goes dead. Now, this is, living paycheck to paycheck or whatever, or just barely making it or just trying to get by or whatever the case is. You have to have that emergency savings fund. Again, it will ruin your money management if you don't have it. And then you have to take that money that you were going to pay Paul with and then go pay Peter with, Rob Peter, yeah, you know what I mean? Rob Peter to pay Paul, whatever the case is, and you ain't got it, and you got to take it from what you were going to use to pay your light bill to then go and buy your battery because, you took that money and did it for something else. And that is one of the reasons, that you get into financial trouble. Again, I'm talking, I'm not a certified financial planner, but what I am certified in is making silly money management mistakes, like what I am talking to you about. And then trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do now? Now I got to take this money from here and then go and pay this. And these are the things that I would do. And it's crazy. You've got to get off that cycle because trust me, trust and believe, having money is better than not having money. I don't care what they say. And also having good credit is better than having bad credit. I don't care what anybody says. It just is. So, got to get it together, people, before you even think about starting a business or a commercial business or a nonprofit, because you want to be able to focus on what you need to focus on and not things you didn't handle back at the house that could really just pull you down. So prioritize your debt, then work on that $1,000 in savings, emergency savings. Don't use it. Don't put the money in there and be like, oh, I'll put it back. And no, it's for emergency, an emergency. So you want to use that. We're trying to break that cycle.